Hello everyone, this is Jason again. Today we're going to focus on expository writing. Let me ask you a quick question. Have you ever had this kind of a desire to share your knowledge about achieving the goals or accomplishing a task like making coffee or changing, your motorcycle oil or building a PC? It seems, this kind of a task could be very daunting for some people, right? So maybe you can actually put your thoughts or insights into an article and teaching people how to achieve the goals step by step. So this type of writing that offers instructions to guide the readers through a process or an activity is usually called a procedure or process essay. And so let's take a look at the elements of this kind of a composition together. So let's first take a look at your handout. It begins with the definition. Process essay, also known as procedural or how-to essays, are a type of expository writing that explains a series of steps or instructions involved in completing a particular task or achieving a desired goal. Process essays can encompass all kinds of topics, from planting a tree to performing CPR. The most common type of writing that you can see, just like a recipe. If you want to teach people how to cook, a special dish, then that could also be a process, essay or an article. So let's continue. Although all process essays describe how to accomplish a particular goal, the more interesting essays include relevant information about the wider context of the process as to answering the questions such as. So you don't just teach, people step by step. You have to sometimes explain why. For example, the first question, why this process is important? How is it useful to the reader who is learning about this? So when you share your knowledge, you don't just share, how, but also why and what. Okay, and number three is what are the benefits, of the process, okay, and what are the limitation of the process. So sometimes you may share your insights, okay. Because process essays are a type of expository writing, so that means you are explaining things to somebody, right? Okay, that means your audience or your reader. So you should be aware of your audience, especially their knowledge, okay, and of course their age, okay. We have different backgrounds, so people actually from certain field they may understand this, but maybe if you are from different backgrounds, you do not have the slightest idea about maybe the basics, right? Okay, so the next thing about writing a process essay is to focus on, the language. So this is related to readership, and readership brings out the topic of details and the language that you use. So to write an informative process essay, you need to pay special attention to your audience, okay? So just like if you are talking to, kindergarten students, now you should actually make it simple, right? So the vocabulary words, the explanation should be as simple as possible. But of course, you're talking to college students or experts. Now you can include some technical language, okay? The technical language is especially used in certain fields. When you mention this, people do understand it, no problem, okay? So when you are writing your process essay, one important factor is your audience. Who are you talking to, and then you have to determine this first, then based on your audience, that use your language well, okay. The next thing is the arrangement of your ideas, okay. So organizing your ideas into a logical sequence is very important. So we have three major patterns of organization, okay. The first one is chronological order. That means you order your ideas, in the order of time. The second is spatial order. Okay, spatial order is related to the order of space. So this is reserved especially for descriptive essay. So when you want to describe something, maybe you can describe something you see from the left to right or right to the left. Okay, and then the last one is emphatic order. Emphatic order usually is used in argument essays, but of course you can also use this kind of order in your writing, process writing. All right, so let me use this PowerPoint slide to summarize the points. So far we learned that process essay is a type of expository writing, and you have to be aware of your audience because your audience will determine the detail and the language you use. Okay, and it's better to put your ideas into the chronological order because it's process, right, step by step. So you can also you can use the chronological order, but also you can also use emphatic order. A process essay don't just the processor doesn't just explain what. Sometimes you need to also share your insights, okay, and clarify something you're talking about a special process or an important step that usually people fail to do that. Then you need to actually clarify it and add some opinions there to explain something in detail. Then people can actually learn from you and avoid the same mistake. Okay, and so again, just like normal essay, you have a topic sentence, then you have your claim or clarification. Then of course you need to explain this in detail. So that will be your support. So that will be first topic sentence, your insight, maybe your claim, maybe your assertion, or maybe you want to clarify something, then explain in detail. So you can arrange your ideas. Okay, first, if you want to begin to write a process as first is you think of your thesis statement first. All right, what is your main thesis? All right, and then make a list of all the necessary steps or facts that your audience should know. All right, and then explain this step by step. So you may have several paragraphs. In each paragraph, in this paragraph focus on a certain step. So that could be your topic sentence plus clarification and also your detail facts, okay, procedures. Okay, now in conclusion, sometimes you can use prediction. If you complete this, then what will happen? So you can actually make a prediction, use a prediction to conclude your essay, or make a suggestion. Maybe you encourage people to do it, okay, or make some comments. Okay, so there are three ways to conclude a process essay. The first way is to make a prediction. After you complete this one by one, step by step, what will happen, right? So of course you can share your experience, right? So that can also encourage people to do it. Suggestion, right, and comments. So these are something that can write in the conclusion. So how can we put ideas into chronological order? So if you want to put your ideas into chronological order, you can use transition words. So we talked about transition words last time in argument essay. Okay, transition words actually they are served like the bridges of the ideas. So you connect ideas, right? So the first sentence may be related to the next sentence, but because you are the writer, you need to tell us the relationship between the ideas. Okay, so if you want to talk about losing weight, you can try to talk about how to do that, right? So maybe the ultimate is the goal. How can we achieve this goal, right? Now you can begin with how to improve your personal image by losing weight. This could be a hook, or it could be the introduction, right? And then from this idea to the next idea, you need to use transition words, right? One sentence maybe talk about image, or one paragraph talk about image. Then when you talk about the next topic, you can actually give us the ideas why you want to bring this out by using the transitional word. Maybe you want to emphasize your point, or maybe there has some connection between this, right? So let's go back to look at your handout. So in your handout, you will see transitional words. Transitional words, basically, you can describe the process into three parts, okay? First is the beginning, second the middle, and finally the end, right? So at the very beginning of the process, you can use these phrases, and probably people will know that you start a new process, or maybe in the middle of the process, there's also something goes first, okay, and then come next. So process essays, you need to use transition to guide your reader, okay, to visualize, the steps clearly, okay. So I encourage you to memorize these transitional words, as many as possible, because in the future, when you want to write a process essay, you can use this to connect your ideas and help your readers know your logic, and also improve the coherence of your writing. So you can try to mark the ones you like, okay. And then you have two exercises help you to test your knowledge, and also test your knowledge on the transitional words. And the first article is about building a personal computer, okay. And I used the ChatGPT to write an essay for you, and I think I correct this a little bit. So this is not really completely written by a robot. I also give the computer some prompt and also modify this article a little bit. So the whole article is on your handouts. Now I want to actually first choose a thesis for this process essay. The first paragraph, okay, is here, okay, and then I didn't give you the thesis statement. I give you three choices here, okay. So I want to determine which one is the best, okay, thesis for this process essay, all right. And you can choose A, B, C, and then persuade yourself why this is best. Maybe you can read on, okay, and then come back to the thesis later, okay. And here you have the blanks. These blanks are for you to put in the transition words, okay, try to help you to connect ideas, okay. So another piece is quite similar, okay. This article explain how a caterpillar becomes a butterfly, and it'll show you an image, a diagram to show the whole process, okay, from eggs, okay, to larva, to pupa and butterfly. And you read this article yourself. Again, the first paragraph is introduction. At the end of the introduction, you will see a thesis statement, all right, and here is missing. Again, I want you to choose a thesis statement. Remember, we talk about what makes a good thesis statement. So try to actually use a good thesis statement to state your overarching idea. That means it's a broad, okay, and big picture of the whole essay, all right. And then you continue to read and choose what is the transition words. Sometimes it's a connector, or sometimes it's a conjunction. So depends on the context, right? Okay, choose the best that suits the article. Okay, that's all for the process essay.